Hey guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I'm Michelle and making fantasies come true, one story at a time. And today we're going to be doing a July wrap-up and talking about how the month of, July went, and then moving into how August went. We are also going to be talking about how my little vacation-like writing retreat went for me at my sister's house. So if that sounds exciting to you, go ahead and stick around. But I say let's just jump into it, shall we? So for the month of July, I had what I would think is some pretty realistic goals for me. A lot of it mostly had a focus on JJ's project, which is my young adult Christian fiction coming of age storyline where my main character JJ has some sort of dissociative disorder. I'm not entirely sure which one. I say it's dissociative identity disorder, but I'm not a clinical psychologist or therapist, so I can't diagnose that. And honestly, I feel like I would be a hypocrite to diagnose like JJ with, say, dissociative identity disorder or DID whenever I alone don't know what the difference between like DID and OSDD, which is other specified dissociative disorder, or even PDID, which is partial or polyfragment, I don't remember. There's polyfragmented dissociative identity disorder, I think, and then partial dissociative identity disorder. I'm not entirely sure. I watch videos on it, but honestly, the content that I'm watching doesn't retain in my head. And I don't really try to dissect each of the disorders because I feel like it would then negatively affect me and my mental health. So JJ's just got some sort of dissociative disorder. And the reason I started writing that is because of me and my story, and I want to kind of do that in a creative way. But anyway, so my goal for JJ, for the month of July, was primarily to write JJ's chapters. I wanted to write 5 chapters, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to think, for me and JJ, whenever I'm writing, or Grace to write JJ's project, she typically takes 3 to 4 days to write one chapter before she moves on to the next. But back in June, we were kind of dealing with some imposter syndrome. We were really struggling with kind of knowing what to do. We were feeling like we weren't equipped to write the story. And because of that, we took 3 weeks off, and then we took another 3 weeks off. So it was we're not in the right headspace to write this book. So what ended up happening is last week for me, so about I think it was the 20th, we started to rework. Well, not really rework. We decided to go back and edit through the entire book of JJ's project. We are currently on chapter 10 of this rereading / editing session. I think we've added, I'm looking at the word count. Apparently we've added over 2,000 words to the document. Well, this also was the time that we had just gotten a new computer. So we had to get a new computer because our old computer actually died on us. So we have a desktop, but it refused to turn on. I could put in the password, but the screen would stay black. I tried all the little troubleshooting to possibly get it to work. Never worked, and I was like, you know what, it's over 5 years old, I'm gonna just buy a new computer. Did that, and unfortunately when I did that, I didn't have my previous draft on on Word backed up to the cloud. So it was pretty much I did have the content already saved to my Google Drive, but somehow between the Google Drive and the editing the Word document that I had back on my old computer, that had somehow changed, and I lost 1,000 words, which I'm not sure, but I'm just I'm gonna do whatever. I'm just gonna continue reading it and stuff. But yeah, so I'm currently on chapter 10 of that rewrite / editing session. Honestly, I'm not really sure why I'm going back and rereading / tweaking the first the first act of JJ's project, because I know it's going to involve a heavy rewrite once the story is done. Once I get the first draft written. But I'm still I just want to keep it because I don't know. I don't know why. But yeah, so I'm on chapter 10 of that, which is currently not even act 2 yet. But as I was editing it, which I did a lot of the edits back at at the time where I was at my sister's house, I had to go on a little vacation. Well, I didn't have to. I went on a little vacation to my sister's and did a little writing retreat because she was taking her family to go see my nephew's grandparents on his dad's side of the family. My nephew has a different dad from the rest of his siblings, and also his mom's husband. But my nephew's like, this guy is like, my brother-in-law is his father. He does not care about the other guy at all. Like, he would like to see him, but honestly, like, whenever you bring up the subject, he's like, stop. He's not my father. That's the end of the story. But yeah, so went to their house to stay and watch their chickens, which while I was there, I did a lot of writing, which apparently I have several Google Sheets set up where I like keep track of my word count. I keep track of like videos I post and like just things that I do during the day and just document it on there. But apparently while I was at my sister's house, I wrote over 7,000. I almost wrote 7,000 words there. And I did a lot of work on those days. So like those days I was writing my stories or editing my stories. I was then getting ideas for like how I want to expand my content almost. Well, not really expand my content. But if you guys do not know, I actually have 2 YouTube channels. One is the Chaotic Kits channel, and the other one is author Shelley's page. So I am somebody who has multiple different personalities, and I also write in multiple different genres. And Shelley just happens to be one of those pen names, alters, those authors in my system. She actually is the one who writes these Bugstopia books up there. She writes books for our nieces and nephews. Currently, our nephew is the only one who's asked for a book series, and Bugstopia is that series. But we've also, we're deciding how we want to kind of rebrand the author Shelley page. We are also kind of reworking Bugstopia, so the original 6 books, reworking them to add more details, add more background, and our ideal goal is to eventually, once we have that settled, like that world officially, like the books, how we want it to do, like all deep dives, expanding it as much as we can, while also like elevating the writing in a way, elevating the writing and also elevating the crime. We plan on actually taking down the old books again and starting an LLC and republishing these books bigger, everything like that. Republishing them, getting Atticus, getting our formatting done, doing a lot of things to make these stories better and get them not traditionally published, but getting them published under an LLC. We'll have a whole video about what's going on with Shelley. But yeah, so content on this channel is pretty much going to stay the same. Where we're just going to focus on our life as a Catholic creator, having content that has to deal more with like religious side of things, while also keeping ideas on writing, especially when it comes to Grace's work, which is JJ's project, and also wanting to start Mary Ann's books, which are picture books about saints. And eventually working on Maris's book. We're struggling with just keeping these 3 pen names, like these 2 pen names. So Shelley and Grace's pen names writing. I don't know if we can add an additional 2 pen names, you know? But yeah, so we are definitely, you can expect some different content, like a video where we're explaining what's going on with Shelley, how that's gonna then reflect on this channel and stuff. But yeah, so while I was at my sister's house, I did a lot of thinking. I've been doing a lot of planning. I actually have like ideas for the next 5 videos on this channel. So the next 5 videos that I'm going to be posting, or I'm going to be recording in like the next 2 to 3 days kind of thing. So it's going to be a lot of content, especially for the next couple days for me to record. Not much writing right now, but we'll get back into it. But yeah, so mostly for this month, I've been focusing on edits, editing of JJ's project as well as Bugstopia Book 1. When it comes to Bugstopia Book 1, I've only edited chapter 1, and I'm now at 20,000 words. If you want to, what I'll say for for Shelley's works, I do plan on kind of having all Bugstopia focused edits, getting a LLC set up and stuff like that on the author Shelley page. I'm pretty sure I have a link to it down in the description. If not, I'll leave one. But if you want to have, and what I'll give you an idea is, author Shelley page is mostly going to be indie author focused, while here on this channel it's going to be more traditional publishing style, if that makes sense. But yeah, so quick recap of how writing went this month. I started off trying to work on JJ's project, trying to write 5 more chapters, trying to edit Act 3, get Act 3 done. Ended up switching it to editing the whole book to get reacquainted with the story. Currently on chapter 7. I'm at 73,005 words. Did I say chapter 7? I meant chapter 10. And then getting restarted into Bugstopia. Only edited 1 chapter of that. Got a lot of work to do with Bugstopia. But that's kind of the Bugstopia and Grace's works. But now I'm going to take a little bit of a break and go into readings life. Because I have read a lot of books this month. I apparently have read 6 books. So I'm pretty sure I have 7 on my, no, I must have read only 6 books. I finished 6 books this month. So we are going to talk about those next. So I'll be right back. Okay, so reading life. So reading life-wise, for me, has been really good this month. I finished 6 different books this month. I'll just tell you the books that I finished. 1 was Finding Ashley, and I have a book review on each of these books, on my playlist. I might try to link it. I don't know. We'll just see. But 1 was Finding Ashley, which was an adult, I don't even remember what it was called, how to describe it. It was an adult contemporary, pretty much. The second one was The House of My Mother, which is I think it's an autobiography, but it's a biography of Sherry Frankie's life after her mom's downward spiral with the 8 passengers. Then I finished Princess Swap, which was a middle grade fairy tale folklore where the 2 princesses' stories swapped. The two stories of the princesses were Snow White and Sleeping Beauty. The 4th book I finished was A Mirror of Shadows, which is a new adult, dark fantasy portal romance kind of thing. The 5th book was Unbound, which is a not mental health book. It is a religious book, kind of doing a practical guide to deliverance. And then the 6th book was the National Park series, which was Mystery in Rocky Mountain National Park by Aaron Johnson. The book by Aaron Johnson, so the National Park book and the Unbound book, I finished at my sister's house. All of these books were really great books. I will say, when it comes to the Unbound book, I do plan on rereading the book. I'll show you the book. So this is the Unbound book, A Practical Guide to Deliverance by Neil Lozano. I plan on rereading this book. This book is kind of going in on the little Catholic group that I joined. I am going to reread it again because I have really, as I've been reading it, I keep coming up with kind of opening up different doorways of problems that I have in my life, the different traumas that I've hidden from myself. And I just want to keep reading it to get to understand it more. But yeah, these books all were really great reads. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I also bought 3 books this month off of Amazon. I buy my books off of Amazon. You guys can hate me or not. I'm just saying I buy them there because I live in the middle of nowhere. Well, sort of in the middle of nowhere. There is a town. But my area is super not close to big towns. And which means no bookstores. But I bought the House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. I bought the National Park book, and I also bought a young adult Christian fiction book. I'm pretty sure it's up on my shelf. I can't remember what it's called. I won't leave a link to it, but I don't want to get it down off the shelf either. But I got that one as well. That one will be one of the books that I read after a while. But the books that I'm currently reading, so I've only got 4 books on my list of books to read right now because I currently don't have any middle grade books to read yet. So the National Park book, I read that at my sister's house, and that was a middle grade that I then gave to my nephew for his birthday. So that was the last middle grade book that I had. So I'm planning on going to the local mission, I'll try to shoot for today, it just depends. But that I'm going to be looking more specifically for middle grade books to read because I really can't afford to buy more books lately, more books right now, because of the fact that I just had to buy a new computer, which was like $500. I then had to pay a big bill at my for my therapy and stuff. So right now money's tight, especially considering I originally had over $1,000 in my savings account this month. At the beginning of July, and now I'm down to under $1,000. Actually, okay. At the beginning of the month I had almost $1,500. At the end, I ended up with $900. So I'm I need to build that back up just in case another big hit comes. I'll have some background money. Well, spare money. But anyways, the 4 books that I'm reading or focusing on kind of thing. This fiction book, which is the Stolen Kingdom by Bethany Atazadeh. I have tried to read this book twice, I think. I originally stopped doing it kind of because I was not feeling it kind of thing, which I think was the main problem, was I was never feeling this book, which made me stop reading it. I started reading it while I was at my sister's house again. So this is the 3rd time I picked it up, and I'm really enjoying it now. Not really enjoying it, but I'm enjoying it now. Getting a lot more information, processes in it. But I will say so far, the only problem I have with this book, and maybe this is more of a me thing that I have problems with, is the whole, I think it's Parisian, but I don't know, the whole, I don't know. It's a fantasy book. It's just some things about it, with the naming and stuff, I'm not a big fan of. I just prefer books kind of set in the more modern times. Not modern times, it can still be a historic book and, have fantasy elements in it, but I want the words to be more modern. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, that's kind of a problem. That's the book I'm reading. I do have slight problems with the words, but I just kind of glaze over them and just okay, this is what's going on kind of thing. This is my current, this is the next book that I'm reading, which is The Four Signs of a Dynamic Catholic by Matthew Kelly. This is a book that I'm fairly close to being done with. I tried to read it yesterday, wasn't really feeling it, but I think I have two and a prologue chapters left to read. Yeah, this is the latest Matthew Kelly book that I'm reading. So I have probably 2 to 3 more reading sessions in it because I try to read a chapter at a time. I'm doing little journaling, I'm doing notes about this book, I take notes about the book, then I do a journaling session afterwards, enjoying it. Then I plan on, this book is probably going to be an after I finish Matthew Kelly's book, so I'm going to reread the Unbound book, A Practical Guide to Deliverance by Neil Lozano. This one, like I said, will be a reread, gonna dive deeper into kind of my mental health while also still reflecting that Christian values. And then the fourth book is my Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving book by Pete Walker. I think I'm pretty close to getting this book done, but I'm always going to just kind of keep it on my list of things to read, because it can help me in times of need kind of thing. Those are the 4 books that I'm currently reading. Wanting to get some more getting some more young adult books. Yeah, so those are the books that I'm currently reading. Otherwise, this month of July's reading has been wonderful. Finishing all those books was great. And also, like, finishing books that were also more fiction-based instead of just Christian books was really nice. Not really nice isn't a bad thing. It was just, like, I had been focusing so heavily on, like, religious books. It was nice to take, like, more of a fiction break kind of thing. But yeah, so those are the books that I read. I'm now going to talk a little bit about my goals for August. Actually, I need to I've kind of already talked about what's been going on at my sister's house, which everything went fine there. It was perfectly fine there. But actually, I'll go in a little more detail about what happened at my sister's house, how it all went with my kind of writing retreat. Then we'll go into my goals for August, okay? So I'll be right back. Hey guys, sorry, it's a lot later, since I last recorded that. I was watching back the clips that I had, and the last section didn't sound good. So now we're going to talk about my weekend, my time at my sister's, and talk about some goals that I have for August. Pretty much my time at my sister's house was absolutely lovely. I had a lot of fun there. My sister, like, we were texting while she was gone, and she was just asking me about the house and stuff. But there were times where I was halfway through the time there, and I was like, you know, if you ever want to, like, go on vacation with your family again and just leave me to the chickens, I've got it. I've had a wonderful time here. And she was like, good, because I was worried about you. She was just worried that something would go wrong and I would have to leave early and the chickens want to get fed and stuff. But she's like, it was really, like, she's like, I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself. But yeah, the trip was good. I ended up, so yesterday was the day that I got home, and I told my sister, like, whenever I was going to bed, like, I had taken my shower, I didn't do my prayer yesterday or do my evening reading session just because I was so tired. Honestly, whenever I was driving home, I was, like, almost half sleeping at the wheel. I wasn't actually, but, like, it felt like my eyes were so droopy, and it was like, oh, I'm so tired kind of thing. But I ended up going to bed at, like, 7:50 last night and woke up at 7 o'clock this morning. Did not move an inch, or, like, didn't even, like, have to get up in the morning to go pee or anything like that. I was just truly zonked out, and I just told my sister that, and she's like, must have been your bed, because, like, I was out solid. There was, like, no waking me. Which I don't know what that was, but, like, I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that I got to sleep and just felt so good. But yeah, that was kind of how my trip with my sisters went. I also talked a little bit about it, throughout this video. But it was a really nice trip. I did a lot of writing. I did a lot of reading, which was all really, really good and really fun. But yeah, it was all super, I loved it. I would gladly do it again, honestly. And I would honestly like to go on my own vacation, like go travel somewhere, stay there for a little bit, and do more writing retreats. Problem is I have a desktop and it's hard to travel with my computer all the time. And honestly, it's just not in the budget, but I would love to just go somewhere and have, like, a little vacation kind of thing. It was really nice. Again, I just don't have anywhere to go. I don't really have any friends, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna go travel to this place, spend some time with them, and just write. Like, that just sounds weird. I feel like you guys are incredibly crooked. I don't know why. Anywho, so August, what are my game plans? So basically my game plan for August is to do the same thing that I've been doing, to write more in write and edit JJ's story, write and edit Bugstopia. The one thing that I want to do new for writing wise is get to know Marianne and start working on her picture books. I've just been feeling so called to write these saint books, but yet I just don't do anything about it kind of thing. So I'm like, I need to get into doing it. So that's something I want to do for writing. Again, it's going to be hard because I have so many things I'm doing throughout the day. But I'm going to try to spend some time in the evening and just learn some stuff about saints. And then for prayer life, I pretty much want to continue doing the same thing. Well, okay. I had fallen off what I've been doing. Like, I wanted to pray 2 rosaries a day. Just going to stick to the 1 rosary a day. But I do want to see Jesus or, like, go somewhere where, like, the Blessed Sacrament is, or go to, like, a cemetery, or just get out of the house and go somewhere around noonish and sit there in front of the sacrament or wherever I'm at and just pray. So I might be able to do 2 rosaries a day, which would be really awesome. And I want to also go see my mom at least once a week. Back in 2022, my mom passed away. And I used to go to the cemetery, I felt like a lot more frequently than I have been lately. Honestly, I think it's been almost 2 months since I last saw her, and I'm like, that's awful. I should see her more often. And, like, yeah, I know she's not gonna respond to me, but I feel like I haven't been showing her love in a way, and it just feels weird. But another thing that is more, I don't want to say more relevant, but something else that I'm wanting to do for the month of August is I'm wanting to do the 33-day morning glory. This is a do-it-yourself retreat for Marian prep consecration. I previously had done the 33-day total consecration to the Immaculate. This is just another 33-day consecration to Mary. And I would like to do this in the morning, once I get up from bed. Like, I'll do this. I don't know much about it. I'm gonna do some research about it, but it looks like it's the same thing. Like, some reading, some prayers. Yeah, pretty much looks like about it. This I'll be starting on August 6th, so I have a little bit of time to do it beforehand. Like a little more time to just reflect, prepare for it. But when I do this, I would like to go hopefully this will be the time that I go to say the mass. I mean, not say, yes, to go to the mass, but also, just sit in front of church and just be in the moment, you know? But I would like to do this. I want to have do the morning reading, then go to the church and just sit there, being present with God, and things like that. So that's kind of the game plan, for the month of August, doing more writing, doing more religious stuff, getting more focused on what I want in life. But yeah, and I would also like to get back to doing Shelly's stuff, like doing videos for Shelly's content, so author Shelly's YouTube page. It's just going to depend on how everything flows right now with my own personal, for this YouTube channel, and also other things going on. But hopefully in the month of August, I'll be able to get back to recording for the author Shelly page. So yeah, that's kind of how life has been going right now. That's also my goals for the month of August. If you guys want to leave a comment down below talking about what you're doing for the month of August and how your July went, I would love to read them. I'd love to get to know a little bit about you and kind of just get to know what you're working on, see if you guys are writers out there as well. Also for the month of August, I'm going to be participating again in the, well, I guess it's participating, but back in 2024, I'm pretty sure, I bought the class that Sarah Cannon does, Publish and Thrive. She recently updated the platform she's doing the videos on, and I would like to redo the test, well, not test, but redo the classes, thinking more about how I can expand my indie author career. I hope I'll do it this time. I've been saying this for years, but I really do need to get my indie author career off the ground. I need to take myself more seriously as an author, and hopefully with Publish and Thrive, I will be able to do it a little bit better. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to say for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That sounds weird to say, but yeah, that's all I got to say. I hope you guys all have a lovely day, and remember to keep making fantasies happen one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys later. Bye!